Just quick question: what's lion's mane do for you?
It's a medicinal mushroom that is very well known to regenerate the brain, neurotransmitters in the brain, neurodegenerative damage in the brain, to help with memory. There's even research on it related to Alzheimer's and dementia, a lot of these degenerative diseases. It really helps with basically stimulating brain function.
Is it a pill?
It's a powder, but you can get it in pills. You can do it in a liquid tincture, or a powder, or a pill, all three options.
What's the age? I mean,
starting
it at 88 too late?
Oh, no. No. That's when a lot of people take it. When they get older and they start to have some memory loss, some basic stuff, they'll hop on some lion's mane and they'll see a difference with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have some questions on that one. Okay. Now, on that note, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Dr. Vaughn is going to explain a very interesting topic for us, so that we can listen to it and we can figure out some interesting things about it. Because I was kind of shocked on some of the things.
Yeah.
But we'll be right back after these messages.
Come to the Spirit of Health Wellness Center, where we determine the root cause of your health problems. While the medical system treats your symptoms, we treat the cause. The true diagnosis you need to hear are things like Lyme disease, mold toxicity, and heavy metal poisoning. Get real answers, hope, and take charge of your health through our detoxification programs and therapies. Shop over 200 varieties of organic bulk herbs and supplements in-store or online. Go to spiritofhealthkc.com. Spirit of Health, transforming lives through real health solutions.
Do you want to increase your business sales in 30 days? We've developed a proven method to do just that. What if I told you that for less than $5 per day, you could increase your sales? You can with the help of KC Referral Network. KC Referral Network will promote and market your business on 4 of the most effective advertising platforms: radio, direct mail, digital marketing, and referral directory marketing. Get started today at saleskc.com. That's saleskc.com, and increase your business sales in 30 days. saleskc.com.
Is there such a thing as healthy desserts? Balanced Bakes brings you cupcakes that taste like a treat but are low glycemic index, gluten-free, and made for real-life cravings. And whether you're managing diabetes, eating low carb, or just tired of the dreaded sugar crash, these desserts won't spike your blood sugar, but they'll definitely lift your mood. Crafted in Kansas City by local bakers. Order today and get your dessert shipped straight to your door. Go to balancedbakes.com. That's balancedbakes.com. Rising prices make it tough to run a business today, so if you're tired of spending so much money on credit card processing and wondered what happened to customer service, check out Evolved KC's point of sale solutions. They're available for restaurants and retail, and they turn daunting operations into a simple, streamlined process with local in-person customer service. You'll find them in Overland Park, and they're a local family business. Go to goevolvedkc.com. That's goevolvedkc.com. Time to start saving money with Evolved KC, your partner in today's business world.
At Free State Gun Company, you're more than just a customer. You're part of our community. Whether you're shopping for your very first firearm, looking for the perfect accessory, or just need some expert advice, our team is ready and willing to help. We take pride in creating a store where you'll feel comfortable, supported, and confident in your choices. Stop by and see us at 16635 Midland Drive in Shawnee, or visit us online at freestateguncompany.com. That's freestateguncompany.com. Free State Gun Company, your partner in responsible shooting sports.
When's the last time you made it down to the beach to have the perfect seafood dinner? Come on down to Hook and Reel, just 15 minutes outside of downtown in Overland Park. We'll take good care of you. We've got the freshest seafood in Kansas City, from crab legs to shrimp to fresh mussels and clams, or some fresh shucked oysters. You can't make it to the beach for dinner? Come on down to Hook and Reel, 119th and Metcalf, 913-787-3660, hookandreel.com.
Welcome back to This is Kansas City, and as promised, we are joined in studio with Dr. Vaughn Lawrence from the Spirit of Health. Now, Dr. Vaughn, what are we talking about today? What are we discussing?
I think we should talk about anemia. It affects tens of thousands of people.
I was surprised.
Yep, that either know they're anemic or they don't know they're anemic, but they're chronically tired all the time. They don't feel good. They get short of breath going up the stairs. They're anemic. and you don't know it unless you go to the doctor and get checked out. Plus, and I'm sure we're going to get into all this, but just one quick thing is like the numbers on blood work that the doctors check, the ranges, I should say, are very different than ours. There's all kinds of people walking around anemic and don't know it because they've never been checked. Or two, they went to the doctor and they said everything looks fine, but they're actually anemic. If they came into my office, I would tell them they're anemic and that we need to fix it. So I think anemia is a big, big problem, especially with women.
All right, let's start off with a basic question. What is anemia?
Yes. So I think it's important to define anemia because people think anemia is low iron, and that's not what anemia is. Anemia is a reduced hemoglobin in your blood. Hemoglobin is the oxygen-carrying cell, and it does multiple things. It carries oxygen throughout the body. It also removes carbon dioxide. So in other words, it removes waste from the body, and it's critically important for maintaining your pH or the alkalinity of your blood. So hemoglobin is crucially important. And when hemoglobin is reduced, you reduce the ability of your body to produce and carry oxygen throughout your system. So it's a big, big deal. So it's low hemoglobin. It's not low iron as in the definition of anemia.
Why does, I don't know some of the symptoms and everything, but I know there's a lot of them, and I know being tired is one of them. Mm-hmm. There is definitely a root cause to it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And the big message I promote out there is that this is not a situation where you want to take iron. Doctors recommend iron when people are anemic, and that is a mistake.
I was doing the research, okay?
Yeah.
And this is one of the... Why does poor gut health and low stomach acid cause iron deficiency? But that's not what it really is.
Well, there's a lot of factors. I mean, that's one of them. It is. If you have low stomach acid, you can't break down and get the nutrients out of your food. So let's say you're eating beef or something that's healthy that has iron in it. Well, if you have low stomach acid and you're not fully breaking and digesting that meat and it's passing right through, into your stool, you're not actually getting the vitamins, the minerals, the nutrients, the protein, out of that food. And absolutely, that can cause some deficiencies right there. But there's a whole long list of what anemia actually is. And again, it's not about low iron. That's what people really, really need to understand. They need to get some lab tests done, some blood work done to find out the real problem so that we can fix it. Because you might never fix your fatigue problem if you don't figure this thing out.
They said that gut problems that are, that people don't know they have, like celiac disease.
Sure.
Can actually lower a lot of your enzymes, that leading you to more towards the anemic side.
Yeah, and there's certain foods too. So you have gut issues, digestive issues. Grains and certain legumes can actually block the absorption of iron in your body. But more importantly, I would notice, think about all the reasons people are anemic. Think about blood loss. Mm-hmm. Think about women. Mm-hmm. Many, many women have very heavy menstrual cycles, and they're bleeding very, very heavily. And, think about a mom with 3 kids, and she's got this heavy menstrual cycle, and she's exhausted all the time, and she thinks it's just because she has 3 kids. And that's definitely part of it, right? If you have a few kids, you're going to be tired. Yeah. It's very, very challenging for women out there. God bless all of them. My wife's one of them with 3 amazing kids, and it's a lot. But if you're having a heavy cycle on top of that, you're having blood loss, and you're anemic and you don't know it, well, you could feel better if you actually worked on it. Vitamin deficiencies, vitamin B12, B6, folate. These deficiencies affect iron absorption. Copper is huge. I'm big, big, big on copper. I had a gal anemic for 20 years. 20 years she's been anemic.
Can it kill you?
What? I mean, eventually. Think about it. Low oxygen. What happens if you have low oxygen in your body?
Right.
You don't get oxygen to your tissues, to your brain, to your muscles. Now you have a breeding ground for infectious disease, for parasites, for fungus, for mold. bad things happen when you're low oxygen. So you absolutely want to fix this. So I was mentioning this gal, she's been anemic for 20 years. I put her on a protocol that had lots of minerals in it, but copper was one of the main focuses. And I was so excited. We just got her blood work back last week, and for the first time in 20 years, she's not anemic. And it was not about taking iron.
It was about taking copper.
It was about taking copper and other things.
Yeah, and other things.
You have to improve
they didn't test
iron
for
absorption. Who didn't test for it? Doctors?
Yeah.
No, they don't test for any of this.
Okay.
No. I mean, even people have low hemoglobin, and they don't even do anything about it. They don't even tell people. And like I said, their ranges are very, very different as well. So you really need a comprehensive blood panel. You need to check iron and ferritin and your saturation level and your TIBC, which is total iron binding capacity. And you need to see what your red blood cells look like. And you need to check copper and zinc. And you have to get a complete picture, because doctors are very, very short-sighted on this anemia problem.
Okay, from the text line, and if you'd like to text, I'm not going to take them on the air because we don't have a whole lot of time to get our show done, but it's 913-303-0550. Does chronic inflammation block the body from using iron?
Was that a question that just came in?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you have high inflammation, it increases something in your body called hepcidin. When you have increased hepcidin, your body says, do not release iron. So what happens is the iron that's in your body, that's trapped in your tissues, or actually specifically can be very heavily in your liver, your body increases hepcidin, and that is the message to the body to not release the iron. Why? If you already have inflammation in the body holds on to the iron because it doesn't want to release the iron, because iron is also inflammatory. If you have iron toxicity, you're going to have inflammation, what's called oxidative stress and oxidative damage in the body. And it's a toxicity condition when you have high iron. They call it hemochromatosis. There's a diagnosis for it. So you don't want to have excessive amounts of iron. So the body is smart, and the way God designed the body is smart. And so isn't it amazing that we have this hormone in the body called hepcidin that turns off the ability of iron to be released to protect us, so that it won't just ramp up inflammation to the point where, it might kill us. So There's all these protective measures in place because of God's design of the human body. But what we have to do is we have to reduce inflammation. And if we don't reduce the inflammation, the body won't release the iron.
And we can I reduced inflammation by using, what was it, Dodocin?
Dodocin, or some kind of a turmeric or ginger, or there's all kinds of great natural anti-inflammatories out there.
Which whole foods are best for raising the oxygen levels?
Yeah, so if we're talking iron, there's something called heme iron. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty term some people have heard of. Heme iron is from animal protein. So that's going to be your beef, chicken, turkey, fish. All animal protein has some iron in it. Of course, beef, we know, has the most. So beef, lamb, bison, right? All that's going to have
liver.
Eating beef liver, 100%. Yeah, so that's called heme iron, and that's the most absorbable. They say up to 35%. You'll be able to absorb up to 35% of the iron from a good animal protein source, whereas non-heme iron is found in plants. So beans and legumes and green leafy vegetables and all that, and the absorption on that is very, very low, like 10% max. So a lot of people who become vegetarians and vegans become chronically deficient in B12. They become chronically deficient in iron, and they become anemic, and because they're not getting all those nutrients from those animal proteins. So that can be a problem for some people who are vegetarian or vegan.
This is just coming from me, so it's not one of the questions, but milk?
I don't know if I've never known milk
to
have...
It's an animal.
Yeah, but it's the animal tissue that contains the iron.
I see. What about chicken?
Yeah. Okay. Basically any animal protein is going to have some iron, but again, beef and lamb and bison and deer and those kind of things are going to have more for sure. But if you're trying to consume iron, I would say 100% your best source would be red meat.
And does that include like ground beef?
Absolutely.
So a
ground
burger's
beef,
not
steak.
bad.
No, I mean, not from a nutritional standpoint, it's not bad.
I went to the steakhouse. I
Did
got
you?
one.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. They had a good burger?
It was very good.
That was Longhorn, right?
Yeah, that was Longhorn.
Yeah, they got good burgers, man.
Good, really good.
Yep.
Okay, sorry, we're on a tangent there. Last time Dr. Vaughn was on the show, he told me, don't get fast food, go to a steakhouse.
Yes, go to a real restaurant that has good
burgers. That doesn't
burgers.
put chemicals in it.
That doesn't put chemicals and addictive things in their food.
When do you recommend liquid herbs or specific iron forms
Sure.
over a standard pill?
So very rarely. I don't really recommend iron supplements. I might if the person's having severe chronic, and it's actually true iron deficient anemia, which you can tell through blood work. And so here, let me say it this way. The best way to get iron from a supplement is to take beef liver capsules, or even better is something called Life Blood by Heart and Soil, which is animal-based. It's cow-based, so it's a bovine-related product, but it's actually the red blood cells in a dried form. So that's the quickest way to actually replenish your blood is through a bovine source, and it's called Life Blood. I love that product by Heart and Soil. But beef liver capsules is the complete food that has everything in it you need to absorb iron perfectly. It is the perfect food for a person who's anemic. Why? Because if you're anemic, you need copper to absorb it properly. Vitamin A is crucial. The B vitamins are crucial. I mentioned already B12, B6, B5, which is folate. And beef liver has all of those things. So beef liver will rebuild and regenerate blood. You know, ancient cultures, after a woman had a child, she immediately was fed liver. And the liver was meant to replenish and rebuild her blood supply to help her recover as quickly as possible post-birth. How many women do you know who had a baby in America that ate liver right after they gave birth? Right?
Let's not turn the audience off.
I know, but I'm telling you, beef liver, eating liver or taking beef liver capsules, which most people can do, take a capsule, is hands down your best way to supplement iron, because again, you do not want to take iron, especially elemental iron, which doctors prescribe, which is a horrible idea. These iron infusions people are getting are honestly a nightmare and causing way more problems than they're ever going to fix.
Couple of questions. Can you take too much?
Not in the form of beef liver or lifeblood or a food form.
If I'm taking
absolutely
the beef liver,
not.
I take 1 pill a day. Right,
but you take this elemental iron junk that doctors prescribe, and you're going to feel sick and nauseous, and you're going to get constipated, and it's like I always told people, like, taking the form of iron that doctors recommend is like taking a few nails and sticking them in a glass of water, right, and letting them sit for a day and then drinking the water.
Oh.
Like, oh, okay, yeah, that's how we get iron, by drinking rusty nails. Like, no, that's silly. Iron comes from food. It should come from food, period.
Eggs?
Eggs have iron.
Listen, how is it true that how do you help patients avoid upset stomachs or avoid stomach pains?
That doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen.
No, that doesn't happen when you take the lifeblood or the beef liver capsules. That happens.
This is from the store-bought stuff.
Yeah, if you take straight. So we do have like a liquid iron. It's called herbal iron. It's by Buried Treasure. I'll recommend it sometimes. It's plant-based, so I don't think it's as good. It's not as absorbed.
Right.
And if I do have somebody take like a straight liquid iron, I will tell them take it with food, just to make sure it doesn't upset their stomach. But that should not happen if it's a good quality source, and especially if you do it with food.
I was kind of shocked at the absorption level of a lot of people are buying plant-based protein.
Right.
And they want to get protein in their body.
Right.
The level of absorption from the plant-based versus like
very
whey
low.
or something.
Totally.
It's totally separate.
Totally.
I mean, yeah.
Big deal. And I used to be a big, I didn't call myself a vegetarian. I jokingly called myself a vegetarian that eats meat. Like I would eat, not eat a lot of protein. I would eat fish and eggs and, but now it's like, man, I eat a lot more protein and I feel a lot better.
I know.
That's just me. Like everybody can figure out their own thing, but.
So when you see something that says, and it's whey protein, 30 grams, that comes from milk.
Right.
And it says 30 grams. The absorption is you're probably getting close to 30 grams.
Correct. But if you do one of those plant-based ones that's pea-based or
and it
rice-based,
says 30,
no, you're
maybe half of that.
Maybe, yeah, you're lucky and a lot. Those are starchy carbohydrates, so that's the other problem. It's going to cause blood sugar issues. People don't absorb it well. It hurts people's stomachs. Like I don't get a lot of good results from the plant proteins. Honestly, I like the whey if people handle it. People do have dairy issues, but there's also bone broth protein and there's collagen-based proteins. So those are good sources too. But you cannot replace food. And since I got into it, I know this might sound weird, but most every day, not every day, but I'd say most every day for the last couple of months, I've eaten a can of sardines and a can of tuna. And I'll do it for lunch. Like I'll work out over lunch, go lift weights or something. In 10 minutes, I can eat a can of tuna and a can of sardines, and I'm getting like 50 grams of protein. Boom, just like that.
Does the sardines have heads on them?
No, I don't know. I don't even look. I'm a guy. I don't care. People ask me that all the time. I'm like, I don't know. I eat them right out of the can. They taste good. I don't even worry about it.
Why do you check B12, folate, vitamin D alongside iron when people come and see you? Is that all part of the... I mean,
it's all related to iron absorption.
If you didn't know...
Right.
Then you don't know what to do, right?
You don't know what you don't know, right?
Right.
So that's why you got to come get blood work done. And people don't know that they need to come do that because they've been, again, like misled by medical doctors saying, oh, you're fine, your blood work's fine. Or, hey, you're anemic, like take this horrible elemental iron that's going to make you constipated and nauseous. So there's just no good solutions in the medical world for anemia. And man, I like to think like we have the solutions. It'll take a little detective work. We're going to have to run some labs and figure it out. And it's also going to take some time. But it's worth it.
Yeah.
We're talking oxygenation of your body, your tissues, your muscles, your brain. You have to have good oxygen.
Are you building healthy blood cells?
Exactly.
Red blood cells?
Yes. You need to check your red blood cells, your which RBC, your hemoglobin, your hematocrit. You can check the size and the shape of your red blood cells. This is all in blood work. And then you need to check all those mineral levels because it's crucial to human health.
If somebody's taking like a B, I know you check for the B12. Right. And I have to tell you that after my stuff that I went through, we'll talk about that next show, but I was chronically short on B12.
Okay.
And they tried to ask me, can I take a B complex vitamin?
Right.
And is that better?
Yeah. I would, people are into B12 because they might feel it. They might feel more energy. They might feel more mental clarity. They like it. B12 is one of, there's more than 12 B vitamins.
Yeah, there is.
There's amygdalin, which is B17. So there's a lot of B vitamins, and you need them all. They are all crucial. So I don't know if I've ever given anybody a B12 supplement. I always give them a B complex because you need all the Bs. And if you want it in food, beef, liver, capsules. Like how many times have we been on this show now where we've talked about beef liver capsules, right?
I know.
Over and over and over. We keep talking about beef liver, don't we?
But here's something else I wanted to ask you. We did have a caller in, and I know it's not question answer, but like I hate to name brands, but Braunschweiger.
Okay.
Goose liver,
Yeah.
Is that going to help? It's got a lot of salt in it, but
yeah, oh totally. Yeah, if it's a good clean source of liver, again, cow's going to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
But chicken or any liver is going to have all of those things in it. It's going to have vitamin A, vitamin D, all your B vitamins, copper, zinc, and blah blah blah. It's going to have all of it. All of it. I still think beef's the best, or bison, but any liver from any animal is going to have all of those nutrients in it.
When we talked about this, I don't know, a month ago or couple months ago, beef liver, and I used to eat it all the time. Well, I went to Sprouts, I think it was Sprouts, and they sell the grass-fed beef liver.
Yeah.
I made that with some onions on top, and I loved it.
You loved it, yeah. No, it's a superfood. It really is. Of course, we've lost some of these things in our culture today, but I understand if you're not wanting to eat liver, but at least go buy some beef liver capsules and start taking it, because I guarantee you every person listening to this can and will benefit from taking beef liver capsules.
You will see increased oxidation in the blood.
Not oxidation, oxygenation.
Oxygenation.
Right, you want to increase oxygen.
Which will give you more energy.
Yeah, that's the most basic thing. Think energy. Think, you're able to go longer, walk longer, climb stairs easier. Might help with brain clarity and focus. It's going to help with everything.
How does high daily stress levels drain the body of energy and things like that? Can it?
It does. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I got my opinions on this, but, people like, the root cause of all my problems is stress. And I'm like, I do think stress is a problem. And I do think stress makes everything worse. Like, stress is an antagonist, right? Why? Because it shuts down your system. So if you're in stress mode, everything else is shut down. Digestion shut down, right? Like, your immune system shut down. So that's why stress is absolutely a problem. But, that's not necessarily like the cause of everything, right? You got to look at the complete picture. So I'd say you want to deal with stress because you don't want your system shut down, but there's other issues and problems going on. That's why you got to check the blood work, check your nutrients, because everybody's struggling with deficiencies in something, and you're not going to really know if you don't get it checked out.
What role does heavy exercise play in an iron loss, or for athletes or marathon runners?
No, I mean, I would just say, like, if you're going to be an athlete or a marathon runner or anything like that, you better make sure your body's oxygenated, right?
Yes.
You better make sure you're not anemic. You should be eating quality food. You shouldn't be eating junk and fast food. Like, if you look at most professional athletes, now I know there's exceptions out there, but I've watched some of the documentaries. I've followed like Jerry Rice and some of my favorite, football players from the past. And when you look at their routines and their programs and their diet, it's ridiculous. It's impeccable. Right? Like Tom Brady, if you look at his diet, it was impeccably perfect. Why was he able to play professional football into his 40s? Because he cared about performance and his body and taking care of it and doing the right things. You can get away with stuff when you're 20s or even in your 30s, but when you get older, you can't.
All right, on that note, we're going to take our next break, and then we will return. I have a couple more questions on this topic, and then we'll get to your questions right after this.
Come to the Spirit of Health Wellness Center, where we determine the root cause of your health problems. While the medical system treats your symptoms, we treat the cause. The true diagnosis you need to hear are things like Lyme disease, mold toxicity, and heavy metal poisoning. Get real answers, hope, and take charge of your health through our detoxification programs and therapies. Shop over 200 varieties of organic bulk herbs and supplements in-store or online. Go to spiritofhealthkc.com. Spirit of Health, transforming lives through real health solutions.
This is kansascity.com. Bottom of the homepage, you can fill out your question, and we will see if we can get it answered. Also, you can listen live there on any device that you have if you hit the listen live button at the top. Now, you wanted to mention something else. We were talking about anemia.
Yep.
And you wanted to mention something else that could cause this.
I actually got two things. I thought of one other thing. I want to mention that it was discovered in the late 1920s that iron was an essential nutrient to the human body. And then in the 1930s, we started fortifying foods with iron. And I am here to tell you guys that that was a huge mistake. So anybody out there who's eaten boxed packaged food, bread off the grocery store shelf, bought a jug of milk at the grocery store, eaten boxed cereal, all of those things are fortified with extra iron. And guess what? It's that elemental iron. It's the wrong type of iron. And so I would argue that everybody in America has a iron toxicity problem. And if you want to have like a mind-blowing moment here, what I've found, if people that are anemic are actually iron toxic and have iron overload.
The wrong kind.
Because they have the wrong kind of iron. It's stuck and trapped in their tissues, their liver, their kidney, their organs, and it needs to get out. And it is a toxicity problem. So we should stop eating box packaged foods, never eat or buy anything fortified with iron. We need to get this excess of iron out of our body, and we need to increase copper and vitamin C and magnesium and the B vitamins. And that will release the iron from our tissues so that we can heal. And I've seen that reverse anemia many, many, many times. All right. The other thing I wanted to mention is infectious disease organisms that eat our iron. So this is why you never want to take an iron supplement. This is why you never want to get an iron infusion because, well, one, people are iron toxic, as I just mentioned. So what a nightmare to get an iron infusion when you actually have iron toxicity, but you don't know it because it's all trapped in your body and you're making the problem worse. But you can also be feeding disease in your body. So we've heard of malaria. Right?
Yes.
Malaria is a protozoan parasite. We know malaria can kill people quick. People can die in 2-3 days from malaria if they don't get treated properly. It's a parasite that gets inside of your red blood cells. And in the incubation stage, while it's growing, guess what it's feeding off of? Your iron. It consumes up to 2/3 of all the iron in your blood cells, and it causes a chronic anemia condition while this parasite grows and replicates inside of your body. So protozoan parasites specifically, which are the small little microscopic single-celled organisms, which is like the cyclosporiasis that we talked about.
Yes.
Yeah, the outbreak. So Babesia is another one. It's a protozoan parasite. And again, these get in your red blood cells and they consume the iron out of your blood cells. So what if you're anemic and you go to the doctor and you get an iron infusion, but you have Babesia or some protozoan parasite? You literally, it's like you just fed what? Like,
it thrives on it.
Yeah, it's like throwing out a bunch of meat to in an alligator pond or something, right? Yeah. Like you literally just fed this disease in your body. And bacteria too, like staph. We've heard of staph. We've heard of strep. We've heard of E. coli. All of these bacteria also will sequester or pull, eat, consume, use iron as food to reproduce. And so that's another reason this anemia problem is such a big deal. And you guys need to understand this because taking iron is going to feed this problem. And again, you don't know what you have until you get some lab tests done to see what you have, how to fix it.
When do you tell patients to see a medical doctor for severe anemia, or do you?
The problem is the medical doctor's not going to have a solution for your severe anemia, right? All they can do is give you a pill or give you an iron infusion, which again I think is a huge, huge mistake. Now, if it was, dangerous, like that person's going to die, I mean, yeah, you might need a blood transfusion. So obviously I'm not against that. They say when your hemoglobin, so your hemoglobin should be like 15. If that hemoglobin gets below 10, that's extremely dangerous. And they will give people iron infusions. If your iron is chronically low, like say your iron's like below 30 and your ferritin, which is your stored iron, is below 20. I mean, I've seen ferritin as low as like 7. Your stored iron. So if you have really, really low iron, really, really low ferritin, your hemoglobin is getting down towards 10 or below, yeah, you probably need to seek emergency help because that could be a life-threatening situation. And of course, we need to use the medical system when it's the right time to use a medical system. And of course, I'm going to recommend an iron transfusion if it's going to save somebody's life. But that's never going to fix that person's problem long term.
Do you share your lab results? Say I go into you and I want to get tested. Do you share those lab results with other doctors or treatment plans that you're putting them on with other like primary care doctors? So
what I encourage people to do, because I'm a naturopathic doctor, I do holistic medicine, I really love it when people have a primary care doctor that they like, that they get along with, that's actually open to like doing the right things.
Yes.
And really, that's the best of both worlds. I think that'd be great. So yeah, if we do some blood work and I find XYZ and they can share that with their doctor, I think that's helpful. And we should be wanting to learn. right? I should want to learn from a medical doctor. I think a medical doctor should want to learn from a holistic doctor. And we'd have much better health care in our world if we actually cared enough to learn things from each other instead of thinking that like it's our way or the highway. So yes, I really love it when people have a good primary care doctor and they can share these things with, and they can get the best care that way, I believe.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know. All right. Anything else on that topic? Because we're running out of time.
I think we hit that good. I'm ready for some Q&A.
All right. We got some questions over here. We're not going to be able to get all of them. Let me check what the break time is. Okay, we got about 3 minutes here. This one, I had to reiterate, came over like 4 times. I missed what causes thin skin, and what can I do about it? I know we talked about it.
Yeah, so when you think about skin, it's something called the collagen matrix. All right. So that's a keyword, collagen, right? Where does collagen come from? So collagens are connective tissue. So there are different things important for collagen. And I'll tell you what I think is the number one most important thing. I think it's vitamin C. I think vitamin C is crucial for the collagen matrix. And I think people are chronically deficient. I have been lately getting really into vitamin C even more and more, and I've been recommending people do up to 8,000 milligrams a day of vitamin C. So I have a powder that 1 scoop is 2,000 milligrams. I'm having people do 2 scoops twice a day of vitamin C. At the bare minimum, you should be doing 4,000 milligrams. So high dose vitamin C. You can take collagen supplements. Right? We carry Ancient Nutrition.
Yeah. Collagen peptides.
Yeah, it's like peptides. It's collagen. It's going to be from maybe different sources. It might be from chicken. It might be from beef. It could be like fish. It could be like a mixed source of these collagen peptides. There's good protein in there, but it's going to have all the components of that collagen matrix. I also think hydration is really important. I think people are chronically dehydrated.
I do too.
And you're going to see that in the skin. You know, people drink a lot of coffee or soda or other caffeinated sources. They're depleted in these minerals. Like you can know by looking at somebody's skin if they're dehydrated and they're low in vitamin C. Another thing with vitamin C is people bruise really easily.
Yes.
So if you bruise really easily or your skin doesn't heal very quickly, you're chronically deficient in vitamin C.
What's the difference then? That leads this question. Let me check time here. I got a minute left on this segment. What's the difference between water-soluble supplements and non-water-soluble supplements?
I would say it's water-soluble and fat-soluble. Okay.
The question was, can I overdose on vitamin C? Is it water-soluble?
Yes. Vitamin C is water-soluble. All the B vitamins are water-soluble. You're not going to overdose on them. The body's going to eliminate what you don't need. That's why your pee's yellow when you take a B vitamin supplement.
Right.
With fat-soluble vitamins, vitamin A, D, E, and K are fat-soluble. You want to take those with a fat for a best absorption, like cod liver oil. Butter, which is a food, is very high in vitamin K.
Not margarine, people. Right,
real butter. So if you want to do A, D, E, and K, if you want to supplement it, eat it with a meal that has fat in it, because those are fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K. The other ones are water-soluble.
I bought some of that margarine stuff at the, or whatever it is, at the store, because you mean 20
years ago, right?
Yeah, about 20 years ago where I didn't see the difference.
Right.
And I took it home and I forgot to put it in the refrigerator.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It turned to gasoline.
Oh, it's disgusting. It's just so fake. It's disgusting. Yeah.
All right, on that one, we are going to take another quick break, and we will be back to answer some more of your questions. Not going to get to all of them, but some more. We'll be right back after this.
Come to the Spirit of Health Wellness Center, where we determine the root cause of your health problems. While the medical system treats your symptoms, we treat the cause. The true diagnosis you need to hear are things like Lyme disease, mold toxicity, and heavy metal poisoning. Get real answers, hope, and take charge of your health through our detoxification programs and therapies. Shop over 200 varieties of organic bulk herbs and supplements in-store or online. Go to spiritofhealthkc.com. Spirit of Health, transforming lives through real health solutions.
Do you want to increase your business sales in 30 days? We've developed a proven method to do just that. What if I told you that for less than $5 per day, you could increase your sales? You can with the help of KC Referral Network. KC Referral Network will promote and market your business on 4 of the most effective advertising platforms: radio, direct mail, digital marketing, and referral directory marketing. Get started today at saleskc.com. That's saleskc.com, and increase your business sales in 30 days. saleskc.com.
Kansas City knows burgers, and Kansas City picked ours. Paul's Drive-In voted best burger by the Kansas City Star in 2023 and 2024. Now that's not luck. That's fresh, never frozen beef, smashed hot and stacked right. Add award-winning soft serve and onion rings that slap, and you've got a KC icon. Family owned, always fresh. Still your neighborhood favorite. Paul's Drive-In. Check out the menu at paulsdriveinkc.com.
Get paid more for your tech. Paymore offers cash on the spot for a wide range of devices, including phones, tablets, laptops, video games, cameras, drones, and much more. Paymore accepts new, used, and broken devices, and Paymore offers on-the-spot data wiping to keep your sensitive information secure. Paymore now has 3 locations: 135th in Antioch, 1415 Douglas and Lee Summit, and on the corner of Westport Road and Southwest Trafficway. Paymore, the smart place to sell electronics.
Are you a responsible gun owner looking to elevate your firearms experience? Or a new owner searching for the right gear and guidance? At Free State Gun Company, we're more than just a gun store. We're your trusted partner for quality firearms, accessories, and expert advice on responsible ownership and maintenance. Visit us in person at 16635 Midland Drive or online at www.freestateguncompany.com to find everything you need to enjoy your firearms safely and confidently. Free State Gun Company, your partner in responsible shooting sports.
Training camp coverage on Sports Radio 810 WHB is brought to you by DM Injury Law. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call 816-888-750. Mike's got this. By Robert Brogdon's Olathe Buick GMC, your destination for unbeatable savings and a huge inventory of new Buick and GMC models. Shop now at robertbrogdon.com. And by Morton Salt, a staple in America's flavor story since 1848. From backyard grills to game day tailgates, Morton Salt brings the taste that makes every bite worth cheering for.
Welcome back to This is Kansas City, and we've had a great discussion today. I want to thank Dr. Vaughn Lawrence for coming in from the Spirit of Health. Remember, everything you can get online at Spirit of Health. Well, not the blood tests and not well, I guess you can order a blood test.
Yeah, you can order labs online, actually.
So
or just call.
Yeah, for those listening in California, Denver, all over, you can get the blood test.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we can find out if you're anemic and why and all that. Just through our office. Doesn't matter where you live. You can do all of it.
Okay. SpiritofHealthKC.com, and all of these supplements that we're talking about, you can always get them online. Sometimes it gets confusing because there's so many.
I know we have like 2,500 supplements.
I know, and you vetted all of them.
All of them, yeah.
It's amazing. But anyway, we have, this is another question, and we have a cyclospora outbreak, and I know we touched on that in a couple shows, and now we have a salmonella outbreak.
Right.
What is salmonella, and how do we protect ourselves?
I mean, a lot of these...
It's a foodborne illness.
Yes. A lot of these bacteria are, like E. coli and things like that are what I call pathogenic, as in they're not supposed to be in the system. So that's where you get like diarrhea and
so it causes the diarrhea.
Right. We get these serious symptoms. Not necessarily immediately, but it's always from contaminated food. It's always a contamination of a food product, a lettuce or, whatever. And I mentioned this in a show before. A lot of these contaminations come from like pig farms and things like that, from these really unclean sources. So how do you protect yourself? You have a healthy gut. You take probiotics or you eat fermented foods. And then everyone in America should have charcoal in their cabinet. Because if you happen to pick up anything, I think most everybody's experiencing food poisoning, right? Have you gone somewhere and got food poisoning and threw up and had diarrhea? Has that happened to you?
Yes. I even had to go to the hospital.
Yeah, so that happens to most people. You should have charcoal in your cabinet.
Like you start the grill with? Or
well, no, not charcoal briquettes. Those probably have gasoline or something. No, a supplement.
A supplement.
Which we sell in our store.
And
a binder.
And it will help relieve the problem.
No, it binds the toxins. It binds the
it
poisons.
binds the toxins,
right.
And then gets it out of your system.
Right. So those bacteria, so you pick up a salmonella, the cyclosporiasis is different because that's a protozoan parasite, but it's a binder will still help. Charcoal will bind toxins and poisons. So that's your little formula right there. Eat well. If you get sick, don't eat anything. Fast, right? Take probiotics and eat fermented foods and take a bunch of charcoal, and you will clear that out of your system.
I haven't tried my sauerkraut on a burger.
Yeah?
You ever heard of that?
Yeah, you can do that.
Oh, I put the cheese on top of the sauerkraut. I made the burger, and it was actually really good.
Yeah, great.
I make a turkey Reuben also.
Nice.
So
now you want the sauerkraut from the refrigerated section, not from the shelf, right? Okay.
The cyclospora though is a parasite, whereas salmonella is a bacteria.
Is a bacteria. That's correct.
Okay.
Right.
And you can get it at both of them. Well, I don't know. The salmonella will work with charcoal, right?
Charcoal will help with both of those situations. We did come up with a protocol for the cyclosporiasis parasite, which is actually parasite herbs. That's things like Artemisia, which is wormwood, black walnut. I drew a blank. Cryptolepis. Sorry, I couldn't think of the name of the herb. Cryptolepis, just anti-parasite herbs. And then for bacteria, I'll tell you what's really great for bacteria, like salmonella, is oregano. So like high-dosing oregano.
Like your herbs?
Yeah, North American Herb and Spice has a really, really strong oregano in a capsule form or a liquid form. So I'd actually get we have one called Oregabiotic. There's one called Oregarest for the lungs, but just getting the oregano capsules. And when you have an acute situation, you want to hit it hard. So I tell people to take 2 capsules every couple of hours until they clear an infection like that. So I would say for a bacteria like salmonella, do antibacterials, which would be like oregano, garlic, things like that. Whereas with the parasite, you need anti-parasitic herbs, which are different.
And the charcoal along with that.
And
will
the charcoal
help.
along with it to bind the toxins. That's going to be the immediate help. Think about it, you've been poisoned. Think about it this way. You've been poisoned, and you need to get the poison out. So what do? You have vomiting and diarrhea because the body's like, get this out. So if you take a bunch of charcoal that mops up, think of it like a sponge, right? It just mops up those toxins. You might be able to get through it without throwing up.
Like a charcoal filter works on water.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Pulls
those and binds all those toxins. Yeah, charcoal is a miraculous substance for sure.
I actually had charcoal toothpaste.
Yes, you can get charcoal toothpaste.
Really works.
You can get clay-based toothpaste. Yeah, all that stuff.
All right, last question, and then we're gonna go.
Okay.
For this show. We got about a minute left. I recently fractured my lower back. The doctors want to give me. This is from. She gave her age, but I'm not gonna.
Okay.
But she's older.
Right.
And the doctors wanted to give me pain medication, but I don't want to take them. What do you recommend?
So I like Dotacin. So in our store,
anti-inflammatories.
Yes, anti-inflammatories, which would be Dotacin, and which would be Canna Curmin by North American Herb and Spice. So take those 2 products, take the Canna Curmin, take Dotacin, do castor oil packs where you had the injury. That's where you get a wool or cotton flannel, soak it in castor oil, put it on your back, and then put a heating pad on top of it. The castor oil is a miraculous healer of disc and spinal injuries. So topically, do the castor oil packs.
Topically?
Yeah, topically, meaning on your body, on your skin.
Yeah.
Right. That's the topical treatment. It's the castor oil packs. You can also alternate hot and cold, right? Because you want to bring blood flow and circulation to the area. And then internally, you want to take the Dotacin and the Canna Curmin, and then it just takes time, right?
Wow. Okay, Doctor, thank you very much for being
Welcome.
here.
Love it.
We had a good show. Jason, is it time to go? All right. We got to go right now. We will see you Mondays through Friday.
Come to the Spirit of Health Wellness Center where we